Welcome back to JB Reviews. I have a Ford F350 cabin chassis and a Ram 3500 cabin chassis. Now, I've never done this before in my videos. Let's check out something. It's about 100 degrees today. Let's see how cold the AC gets in both trucks. They've been running for about 3 to 5 minutes now. And so we're gonna see which truck has the cooler AC, because if you're looking to do hot shot or work inside your truck, this might be important to you, right? Let's go. I haven't even done anything yet. It's colder inside this truck. This is a bigger cab. It's colder. I am very shocked. So here we go. Max fan, recirc and AC, as you guys see. Here we go. Oh my gosh. Are you serious? So the reason why I did this is because I owned a Ram and I had actually complained about my AC a long time ago, and here, I'm gonna go back a little bit closer. Wow. Even at its closest, the Ford is still cooler, and it's noticeably colder inside the interior. Smaller cab, okay? All the air vents are open, and that truck is clearly colder. Let's get into the video. I do plan on doing more of that on the channel, so be sure to subscribe if you haven't done so yet. I borrowed these trucks from Larry H. Miller, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram in Sandy, Utah, and Larry H. Miller Super Ford here in Salt Lake City. I definitely think that these are some of the best trucks you can buy if you plan on doing some type of hot shot, or if you do plan on living in your truck. Now, starting off on the front ends, these are both base model, Tradesman and XL, so this is perfectly matched. They both have the upgraded wheels, and when you get the Ram truck and the Tradesman, halogen headlights are going to come standard. Now, surprisingly, you guys can see down here, this does have the active grille shutters. Recovery hooks are down below. And on the Ford, this one does have the fog lights. Now, one thing I've noticed on Ford trucks, if you are looking at their Super Duties, they do not come with active grille shutters. That's going to help with aerodynamics and efficiency for the most part. But same story, you're going to have halogen headlights. Recovery hooks are on the front end of the truck as well. And as far as the design goes, outdated, overstyled. If you would like to add fog lights on the Ram, you can do it as a standalone option. On the Ford, it did come part of the chrome package. I will show you guys the window stickers at some point in this video, but for now I just want to kind of go through all the features. 17-inch wheels on both sides. Both trucks do have upgraded wheels, by the way, so just keep that in mind. Now, on the Ram, I'm going to pick on them a little bit on this video. Nexen tires. And here's the size, LT 235/80/17. 3,000 pounds of capacity, 3,085 to be exact. And if you're looking at dual, 2,835 pounds. Solid front axle. And on this side, Michelin LTX tires and LT 245/75/17, so a little bit larger size, load range E. And then capacity is 3,195. And for dual, it's gonna be 2,910 pounds. Solid front axle, fabric material for the wheel well liner. Ford is a little weird there. They give you plastic, they give you fabric material. It's never consistent. I don't even know how to figure out which it is, but plastic on this side. Now here's some of your badging as well. F350 and your diesel badge down there. Now these mirrors are going to be manually operated on both sides. Now, one advantage that the Ram has is this convex is powered and heated. On the Ford, just the top mirror is heated. Here are the door handles. You do have keyless entry on both sides. However, you have push button start, which you guys see here in a second for that Ram. Now check out the frames. Here is that Ford. Now you guys can see it has that seat channel, and it's gonna be fully boxed under the cab there. On the Rams, you guys will see C-channel frame. Okay. But even the further you go back, it looks to be a C channel. I can't really see all the way under. But as far as the leaf pack goes, check out the leaf. They do give you 2 overloads on the Ram trucks. And then just check out all the hardware and the hangers here. Pretty overbuilt suspension. Now if you count the leaves, it looks like you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in the main. And as I said, you have those 2, which gives you a total of 12 leaves. On the Ford, your hardware here does look a lot more robust compared to the Ram. And you can see a little bit better on this side. So as far as the leaves go, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the main, and as I said earlier, you have that 1 overload here. Now both trucks have the availability to have the 410 max tow, and here's the drive shaft, finished in steel. On the Ram, steel as well, and both trucks are rocking what looks to be a Dana rear end too. I know that the Ram has a 12-inch ring gear. Ford, I can never really find that information online, but it's probably 11.8 maybe. I'm just guessing. With that being said, fuel tank capacity 40 gallons on the Ford. On the Ram, it's going to be 52 gallons. For dual rear wheel, you can get 74 gallons max, and for the Ford, it's going to be 66.5. So Ram has the larger fuel tanks. As far as the DEF tank goes, you guys can see they do put it below the cab on the Ram. As far as the Ford goes, it is where the chassis is, so this could affect your upfit, so just keep that in mind. And as far as the cab to axle lengths go, this is a 60-inch, and this is most likely going to be a 60-inch too. There is no longer one available for either truck. Let's talk about the powertrains for a second. Both trucks do come standard with gas engines. Now, starting with the Ford, they do have the 7.3 liter V8, and that's going to put out 335 horsepower and 468 pound-feet of torque. Horsepower and torque comes on around 3,750 RPMs. Now, the truck that you see here does have the diesel. That engine is going to have 330 horsepower, which comes on around 2,200 RPMs, and 950 pound-feet of torque, which comes on around 1,800. As far as the compression for the gas engine goes, it's going to be 10.5 to 1, and for the diesel, it's going to be 15.2 to 1 for compression. As far as the Ram goes, the 6.4 liter Hemi, which is a gas V8, it's going to have 370 horsepower, which comes on around 5,600 RPMs, and 429 pound-feet of torque, which comes on around 4,000. By the way, both of the gas engines are going to be port injection, so just keep that in mind. Also, this Cummins is going to have 360 horsepower, comes on at 2,800 RPMs, and 800 pound-feet of torque, which comes on around 1,800, just like the Fords. As far as compression goes, this diesel is going to have 16.2 to 1. The gas engine is going to be 10 to 1. And as far as the transmissions go, Ford does have a 10-speed, which is known as a 10R140, and Ram is still rocking the Eisen AS69RC, which is a 6-speed transmission. Ram doesn't need 10 gears. The Cummins, the way it delivers the power, it really only needs an extra gear. I think a 7-speed would be perfect, but it looks like Ram's going to probably be going with an 8-speed transmission. Now, as far as the interior goes, I think that Ford wins because you just have a lot of nice features. Like, I like the fact that a lumbar support does come standard. Though it is manually operated, it's there already. And, you guys see right here? Tilt and telescoping steering wheel. And I feel as though, even though this is a work truck, it does have a decent look to it, right? Decent. Now, I don't like the electronic parking brake, but that's just what they give you in this truck. Now, as far as the screens go, you do have larger screens there, single climate control. Now, this truck does have the auxiliary switches up here, which is nice, but with the chrome package, you do get that sliding rear glass back there. This truck does have a 12 volt and a 120 volt power plug there. A little bit of storage on the top. Let's go ahead and pull the key out. Now, unfortunately, you have to use a key to start the truck, which I'm not a huge fan of. Especially, you know, if you live in your truck, it's just nice to be able just to push a button personally. But you have your trailer brake. One thing about the Ford is they do give you multiple driving modes. So you have eco, tow haul, normal, slippery roads, off-road, and that's pretty much it. I like the fact that they give you an eco mode, so if you're not towing, that just helps if you're just cruising on the highway, right? Cruise control is here, and then here's some of the controls for that screen. Now, I don't know if you guys have watched my last videos, but I talk about this quite a bit. So you do have your measurements, so it shows you all your temperatures. Also, it shows you your engine brake, turbo boost, and your diesel particulate filter and DEF level, which are just nice features to have on these trucks. Let's go ahead and check out the Ram. With the Ram, they do give you a black door card, auto up and down for the front windows, just like that Ford. And as I mentioned earlier, you do have a power convex there. Now, as far as your seats go, you can get lumbar as an option, but why not just make it standard? Now, one thing I do like about the Ram is you do have the tilt headrest standard. It's not the case on that Ford, but you don't have a telescoping steering wheel. This one doesn't have the power pedal. So this truck is just a little bit more, in my opinion, harder to get comfortable in. You do have the vinyl floors on both sides. It's available. If you want carpet, you can do that as well too. But when you step in, you see that push button start. It's a big deal, but check this out. You have the smaller screen. Now, you do have the availability to get the 8.4 and the 12-inch display. If you want that 12-inch display, you're gonna have to move up in trim levels on the Ford. This Ram does have a mechanical shifter on the floor for your forward drive system. There's no drive modes, but both trucks do benefit from having a dual stage exhaust brake. So you have full, automatic, and then off. And Ford has something pretty similar to that as well. But I will say, Ram wins hands down on that. You do get more USBs on this side of the house too. And I think that the simplicity of a Ram truck is nice. They also have a house style plug down here. And I think I like this location better for the 12-volt plug. Simply because if you're using something on the windshield, you don't have to run plugs down below here. Traction control is right here, and both trucks obviously have that too. Now, this does not have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, so you would have to move up to the 8.4-inch display, so just keep that in mind. But overall, black headliner on the roof. If you guys didn't notice that Ford had a lighter color roof, but you do not have LED lights like the Ford. Even right here, sunglass holder. And you can definitely dress up both trucks. I can show you guys the base price, and then really quickly I'm going to build both of these trucks online. But the cab is a lot smaller over here, so you're going to have more room inside the Ford compared to the Ram. When you consider the base price, the Ford truck is the most expensive one at $1,010. Now, when you look at options dollar for dollar, unfortunately the Ram is just always out of control. Like, there's so many features you can add, and the way that Ford packages their trucks is just better. So really quickly, I'm not going to show you everything, but this has the diesel, has max tow. I also added an engine shutdown timer for both trucks. This is the price for the Ram at $78,100. This is the Ford. You don't have the blackout. I don't know if you guys noticed on the wheels. I did do the blackout for the wheels. I love that option. Such a nice design for the truck. And this one has the Ford's aluminum wheels, diesel, and PTO comes standard, or at least the provisions for it come standard on the Ford. So just keep that in mind. And this truck came in at $72,420, and hopefully you guys saw all the options that I selected here. So yeah, no question, the Ford is just a little bit cheaper when you add the options. I optioned them almost identical. Lastly, be sure to take a note of the towing capacity: 25.7 for gooseneck, 25.6 for fifth wheel, and then what is that, 17.5 for conventional, which seems kind of low actually. And then for the Ram, pretty simple, 25.120. The last thing I have to do is show you guys the numbers on the door. But before I do that, I want to show you guys this guy here. This is something that actually Ram was first to do, and then Ford followed suit back in 2023. But you have all your temperatures, exhaust rate is right there, boost pressure, DPF is diesel particulate filter, oil life, fuel filter life, battery voltage, and they give you the gauge summary with all your temperatures right there. I also like the way they set up your engine hours too. You do have your auxiliary switches down here, whereas I do like where they are on the Ford better. So here are the numbers on the door. Your gross axle weight rating up front is going to be 6,000 pounds. The rear is 9,850 pounds, and then 14,000 pound gross vehicle weight rating. There is no payload number because this is a incomplete vehicle, but figure you're going to probably have around 6,000 to 7,000 pounds of payload. As far as the Ford goes, 5,990 pound gross axle weight rating up front, and then the rear gross axle is going to be 10,300 pounds, and then 14,000 pound gross vehicle weight rating. And as I mentioned, these trucks don't have payload numbers because they're factory incomplete. Hope you guys liked the video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. I may do a video before this one on a 7.3 F350 that they have, so be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet, and be sure to let me know some of your thoughts on these trucks. If you own them, if you've ever done hot shot with either or both, that'd be nice to know down below, and for everyone else. See you guys soon.